Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today, we're diving deep into some seriously wild territory, MKUltra. This isn't just some conspiracy theory fodder, we're talking about a real CIA program. Imagine a world where your thoughts, your actions, your very will could be manipulated without you even knowing. That's the terrifying reality that MKUltra sought to explore. We're talking mind control, people. The CIA really went there. They wanted to know if they could weaponize the human mind, turn people into puppets. It's the stuff of nightmares, but it actually happened. Now, I'm not saying the government can control your every thought, but the fact that they even tried this stuff is seriously messed up. It makes you wonder what else they're hiding, right? So, buckle up, folks. We're about to journey into the dark side of government research. We're talking about MKUltra, and it's going to blow your mind. Picture this. It's the 1950s, the Cold War is in full swing, and the US is locked in a battle of wits with the Soviet Union. Paranoia is rampant. The fear of communist brainwashing was very real. Enter MKUltra. Born in 1953, this top-secret CIA program was fueled by fear and ambition. The agency was convinced that their communist rivals were already masters of mind control. They believed the Soviets had cracked the code, figuring out how to turn people into sleeper agents. Manchurian candidates ready to betray their country on command. Of course, the CIA couldn't let the Soviets get ahead. They had to level the playing field, even if it meant venturing into ethically murky territory. That's how MKUltra was born. The program was shrouded in secrecy from the get-go. It operated on a need-to-know basis with only a select few privy to its existence. This clandestine approach allowed the project to operate in the shadows, far from the prying eyes of the public and even many within the government itself. Now, let's meet some of the key players in this whole MKUltra saga. One name that pops up again and again is Sidney Gottlieb. This guy was the head of the CIA's technical services staff, basically their resident mad scientist. Gottlieb was obsessed with finding ways to control the human mind. He oversaw a lot of the program's most twisted experiments. I'm talking about everything from dosing unsuspecting people with LSD to exploring more extreme forms of mind control. But Gottlieb wasn't alone. He had a whole team of scientists, doctors, and researchers working under him. Many of these individuals were respected figures in their fields. They were drawn to the project by the promise of scientific breakthroughs and the allure of working on something truly groundbreaking. However, the ethical lines started to get blurry pretty quickly. The pursuit of knowledge and national security often came at the expense of basic human decency. Many of these researchers justified their actions by believing they were serving a greater good. They told themselves that the ends justified the means. So, what exactly were the goals of MKUltra? Well, the CIA had a whole laundry list of objectives. At the top of the list was developing a truth serum. They wanted a way to make enemy spies spill their guts during interrogations. They were also really interested in finding ways to create amnesiac drugs. Imagine being able to erase someone's memories, making them forget sensitive information. It was like something out of a spy movie, and the CIA was determined to make it a reality. But it didn't stop there. They explored ways to create artificial multiple personalities, essentially turning people into walking, talking sleeper agents. They even looked into techniques for inducing paralysis, heart attacks, and even cancer in their enemies. Basically, if it sounded like something out of a science fiction novel, the CIA probably explored it. Mind-bending methods, the experiments. Now let's get into the really messed up stuff, the experiments themselves. MKUltra involved over 150 human experiments. Many of these were done on unwitting subjects. We're talking about people who had no idea they were being drugged or experimented on. One of the most infamous substances used was LSD. This powerful psychedelic drug was still relatively unknown back then. The CIA was fascinated by its ability to alter perceptions and potentially break down psychological barriers. They dosed countless individuals with LSD, often without their knowledge or consent. But LSD was just the tip of the iceberg. They also experimented with other drugs like heroin, amphetamines, and barbiturates. They even used electroshock therapy and hypnosis in their attempts to crack the code of mind control. Imagine being strapped to a table, electrodes attached to your head, while scientists pump you full of who knows what. That was the reality for many MKUltra subjects. It was brutal, inhumane, and a complete violation of human rights. The human cost lives shattered. The experiments carried out under MKUltra had devastating consequences for many of the subjects. Some people suffered severe psychological trauma, developing PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. One of the most tragic cases is that of Frank Olson. He was a CIA scientist who, unbeknownst to him, was given LSD. Olson had a severe reaction to the drug. He went into a deep psychological tailspin and ended up dying under mysterious circumstances just days later. The official story was suicide, but many believe Olson was murdered to cover up the MKUltra program. His death remains shrouded in mystery to this day. Olson's case highlights the human cost of these experiments. These weren't just lab rats. They were real people with lives, families, and futures. MKUltra destroyed many of those lives, leaving behind a trail of shattered minds and broken families. Unraveling the Truth, the Church Committee. For years, MKUltra remained a closely guarded secret. That is, until the 1970s, when the truth began to trickle out. A Senate committee led by Senator Frank Church was investigating abuses by the intelligence community. They stumbled upon documents that hinted at the existence of MKUltra. The committee was shocked by what they found. They launched a full-scale investigation into the program. The hearings revealed the shocking truth about MKUltra to the world. People were outraged that their government had been engaged in such unethical and illegal activities. The public demanded answers. They wanted to know who was responsible and how such a program could have been allowed to continue for so long. The fallout, consequences, and cover-ups. The revelations about MKUltra sent shockwaves through the government and the public alike. People were horrified to learn that their own government had been involved in such unethical and illegal activities. In response to the public outcry, President Gerald Ford issued an executive order in 1976 that was supposed to ban mind control experiments. It was a step in the right direction, but many argue it didn't go far enough. See, here's the thing. A lot of the MKUltra records were destroyed by the CIA in 1973 on the orders of, you guessed it, Sidney Gottlieb. That made it really hard to hold people accountable for what happened. Without those records, it's difficult to know the full extent of MKUltra's activities or to bring those responsible to justice. Some people believe that MKUltra never really ended, that it just went deeper underground. MKUltra in popular culture, conspiracy, and intrigue. It's no surprise that MKUltra has become a favorite subject of conspiracy theorists and Hollywood screenwriters alike. I mean, the idea of the government controlling your mind is just too juicy for fiction to ignore. You can see echoes of MKUltra in movies like The Manchurian Candidate and The Bourne Identity. These films tap into our deepest fears about being manipulated and controlled without our knowledge. And then there's the whole world of conspiracy theories. Some people believe that MKUltra is still active today, that the government is using these mind control techniques to silence dissidents or control the population. Now, I'm not saying that I believe all that, but it makes you think, doesn't it? The fact that the government really did engage in this kind of stuff makes you wonder what else they might be up to. The legacy of MKUltra. Ethical questions and lasting impacts. MKUltra wasn't just some rogue operation. It was sanctioned at the highest levels of government. This raises serious ethical questions about the limits of scientific research and the role of government in our lives. The program's legacy continues to haunt us today. It serves as a chilling reminder of what can happen when the pursuit of power and knowledge goes unchecked. It also highlights the importance of government transparency and accountability. MKUltra also had a lasting impact on the field of psychology. The program's use of unethical research methods led to stricter ethical guidelines for human experimentation. The lessons learned from MKUltra helped to shape the way research is conducted today, with a greater emphasis on informed consent and the protection of human subjects. Mind control in the future. So there you have it, folks. The story of MKUltra is a dark and disturbing chapter in American history. It's a story about the dangers of unchecked power, the allure of forbidden knowledge, and the fragility of the human mind. While the full truth about MKUltra may never be known, its legacy continues to shape our understanding of government overreach, the ethics of scientific research, and the very nature of consciousness itself. It makes you wonder, what other secrets are still hidden in the shadows? And what does the future hold for the human mind in an age of ever-advancing technology? That's it for today's show, folks. Keep those brains thinking, and remember, stay woke. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us uncover more hidden truths.